Welcome to the Building Savages podcast.
New favorite fitness podcast.
I'm your boy Terrence, aka Building Beast.
I'm Evan Perez, aka EP.
On this podcast, we talk to our fellow coaches, athletes, and everyday gym goers about health, fitness, business, entrepreneurship, self growth, and so much more. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, or
We'll find you and make you smash the subscribe button. Hope you enjoyed today's topic. Ah, man, I am so fucking hungover, man. So traveling being fit, I don't think it's as hard as people think, but it is difficult. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, trying to stay in the realm of consistency sucks. And I think people need to realize that, yeah, it does suck, but there's a way to do it. And for me, I just came back from Austin with a couple of my boys. By the way, I love Austin, but we're not gonna get into the deep depths of it. Some of the things that I do first before I go anywhere and I know I'm gonna go somewhere is I look for gyms. So I automatically was like, all right, we're either gonna go to Onnit, we're gonna go to Lift AXT, or we're gonna go to the Collective. Like, we're gonna go to one of those places, and we picked Onnit. So we at least trained once. The goal was to train twice, but yeah, I'm still recovering for reasons. But we trained once. We had a whole bunch of barbecue, we had a whole bunch of good food. Like, we had food, but we also we brought protein shakes because we were in an Airbnb. We got peanut butter. I brought my creatine with me. I brought my stack of pills with me. There are ways to do it, and then
you might want to address the pills part.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, my pill. I'm popping perks. I'm popping perks and popping mollies when I'm out there. I feel
We
like
don't condone drug usage
out
on
here.
this podcast.
Man, stop. Fuck it, man, stop. Not man. No, but I like my fish oils, my multi, my probiotics, shit like
There
that.
we go.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody over here thinking I'm popping pills and shit.
He's like,
Nah,
where's
but
this podcast going?
fitness and drugs, how we handle it. No, but I bring shit with me. And even if I'm in the mood to first off, my stomach is fucked up because of the amount of shit. But if I do travel a lot of times, I'm looking for a Chipotle in the area, or a bowl place in the area, a sandwich shop. There's always a grocery store. There's always a fridge everywhere. It's not really that hard, and there's always a way to do it. Because you can be like, oh, I have to go out for this business dinner and I have to do that. All right, cool. Eat more protein, and every time you drink alcohol, because apparently people can't function without it in business conversations, which is hard. I agree. I know. Drink a water in between every time you drink. It's not it's how much you want it more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of my online coaching athletes travel a lot. So this was something that I had to adapt to when I first got into the service, because I'm used to seeing a lot of my people in person,
Yeah.
and they travel, but it's just different from the online people that some people travel almost on a weekly or bi-weekly or monthly basis. So one, I think it's when you're traveling for business is a little different when you travel for vacation, because if you're traveling for vacation, if you have a pretty consistent workout schedule, you might go on vacation and just not want to train, and that can be okay.
Yeah.
So maybe you just kind of use that as a deload week, your rest week. Maybe you don't really want to think about exercise there. And for me, when I go on vacation, I know I don't really exercise.
Yeah.
That's just I'm always around the gym. I train a lot, so I just kind of use that as downtime and not really put that pressure on me. But for people that travel for work, you have to integrate fitness on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So in that case, I think it's more for you to make use of the resources that you do have and make the most out of it. So if
Right.
I tell people all the time, all right, if you're home and you have your home gym or your apartment gym, however that looks, that's your stable environment. So you know exactly what's there. We can program and keep you within your goals and needs based off of what resources we know that are consistent for you.
Yeah.
But now, if I know your goal is to just kind of, let's say, generally stay fit, when you travel and you don't have some of the same equipment, there's so many ways that we can manipulate your training to get that same desired effect of just being in shape,
Exactly.
you know. And for the general population, this is easier to pull off than, let's say, someone that has like a really strict competition that they train for like Olympic lifting or powerlifting, because
Yeah.
then they more so have to actually like find a gym that has this type of equipment, you
Yeah.
know. So you got to schedule it into wherever you go that you're finding a gym that has a barbell, open rack, and these things. But for people that are just kind of being in shape, I always tell them like think of your training a little different during this phase to where maybe if all I have is the kettlebell and my body weight and a treadmill, then I program for that.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't do this long hour workout because I'm a little busier with business meetings and yada yada. Fucking a 20-minute AMRAP picking three exercises and just kind of going for that is amazing. You know, like utilizing what you can do with that is amazing. This is a good time to utilize more single leg work or
Yeah.
single arm work, you know. So if I know that when I'm back home, I like to do a lot of back squatting. And now when I travel, I go to a gym that doesn't really have a rack or they have a Smith machine and you don't like using the Smith machines. I'm not a big fan of them. Then maybe I take advantage of this and do a lot of dumbbell single leg work,
Hmm.
you know, and still get a good bang for buck without necessarily using the same type of equipment I might have back at home. So you just start to get a little more creative with your fitness.
Yeah, I think the creativity is like the thing that people are lacking, and I think people that's why people come to us for online stuff,
For
and
sure.
they have a I have a hard they have a hard time communicating that, oh, I'm traveling, so I'm just not gonna work out. Like there is a way to do it, and if you communicate, like we have variations for days. That's literally our job. It's like,
Yep.
hey, you have one dumbbell, you have one bench and a treadmill. Cool. We're doing conditioning for 20, 30 minutes and then that's it. Like it doesn't need to be a hard gym session when you travel, especially that you're out of your funk, you're out of your routine. Like that in itself is almost stressful, especially if you're going for business. Um, but there's a way to continue progressing for us. You know what I mean? Because like what's worse too is like when you come back to travel, you absolutely feel like dog shit and then we have to backtrack. I
Yeah.
hate that. I mean, there was if there was a way for you to train and like you're gonna make the excuse of like not like walking or not at least getting a session in, you come back and then it's almost like you took too bad of a deload. Like you didn't even take a deload, you just took an entire week off. And then our plan was to progress this following week. Then I have to bring that week back because like I have to meet you where you're at. Like there's no way we're gonna fucking do whatever we're gonna plan to do. So finding a better balance and finding a healthy relationship with traveling and fitness is very difficult. But I think people need to understand is like it's also, and we talk about it all the time, is like what the hell's your priority? Like again,
Yeah.
like a lot of people like I had a not a client, my other coach, he was like, yeah, I traveled, I worked out and I did everything like that. And he cut big time for it and he ate everything. Like he was like, yo, I had so much fucking food. I trained here and there. I was active. I didn't lose or gain a pound the entire week because he was well rested. He scheduled activity and he basically ate whatever he wanted. But in the context of like recovery and how important it is to recover and all this stuff and being able to sleep and how he stressed himself out in the um beforehand and the difference between what he felt like when he was recovering and structuring his life a little bit better being away, it was like, oh, I need to start figuring out a way to do this at home.
Yep.
So sometimes it's eye-opening too if you do it right, but at the same time it's like there's always a way. Yeah, I mean, there's always a fridge. There's always a supermarket. There's always a Chipotle. There's always a fucking um water, like wherever the fuck you go.
Oh,
Like
water. Yeah.
you can't say you're not well hydrated even if you're gonna go out drinking all the time. Like we need to have a better relationship and like these are some of the tips that I use from some of my clients to continue going in the right trend. That's all it is.
Yeah, two things that I think about. One is very important to know what you're trying to get out of your fitness at the moment. Like, be very intentional on what your goals are. Like, if you're trying to increase your endurance, you know, then figure out what that looks like in constraints to the resources you have when you're traveling, and kind of think ahead of time of when you're traveling, right? It's like, all right, well, I want to work on my cardio. I'm traveling here for a week. Let me see what my life situation is like here. Maybe cardio looks like running outside. Maybe cardio looks like, all right, they have a treadmill down in the apartment gym. If I wake up 30 minutes earlier, I can go hit the treadmill for 30 minutes and yada yada. If your goal is building muscle, right? It takes us back to our conversation we had a little bit in a previous pod with progressive overload. We know that in order to build muscle, you really just have to put resistance on a muscle that doesn't really necessarily know how much weight you're lifting all the time. We need to put time under tension and resistance on a muscle group. So now I'm looking at what resources I might have. Oh, they got dumbbells at this gym. There's a lot I can do with dumbbells, even if they go up to 50 pounds. So maybe I'm not pushing heavy sets of 80-pound chest presses, but maybe I'm mixing it up now and like, all right, let me take these 50s and I'm going to do sets of 1 minute with a 1 minute rest period. So now I have 1 minute of time under tension doing a chest press. Your chest is going to be fired up,
Yeah,
so. I think it's very important to be intentional on what you're looking for out of your fitness. So you do prioritize it when you go out, and then you just make it make sense to your resources. And another point to look at too is I think sometimes people look for fitness to be like this perfect situation for them all the time to do it. And it's like there's no perfect time to focus on your fitness. Your fitness is your lifestyle. So as your lifestyle continues to change and your environments continue to change, you make fitness a part of that, however that looks for you in the moment.
that's very true. I think people want perfect and don't want to work with what they got.
Yeah,
It's all like they just want perfect. Perfect doesn't fucking exist. So especially when you're traveling and like you said, it's about the intention and stuff like that. If you planned your fitness when you travel, like you plan the entire vacation, like people plan vacations like they don't plan like people who are disorganized plan vacations like motherfuckers. You
yeah,
know, like, they're so detailed and so if you put that much effort into actually planning your fitness at home and every time you travel, you'll be a monster.
for
Like
sure.
you need to put the extra 5% of doing that, like being intentional, like looking at the gyms in the area, looking at if the hotel room has a gym or facility, looking at maybe trails that you can run, or looking at the schedule that your business your job gave you and be like, you have to be here and there. It's like, all right, when can I fit this in? When can I eat? Do I have to wake up a little bit earlier? When uh if I'm gonna be move if I'm gonna be in a different time zone, when do I need to sleep to make sure that I'm not jet lagged? Like
Yeah.
where am I gonna get water? Like there are so many questions that you guys don't like ask that are annoying. Agreed. It's annoying. You know what I mean? But the fact that you're gonna come back and then complain about not being successful in your fitness because you weren't intentionally doing it just
Yep.
sounds to me. Yeah, I mean that's all that sounds like. Like you could have put the extra 5% and all this stuff. Looking for a gym, 2 seconds. Like put the address and then gym's near the address. Looking for a Chipotle. Address, put where the address is. Trails, address, put where the address. That takes 10 minutes out of it. 10 minutes out of your day. Where's the nearest grocery store? Oh shit, it's downstairs. Oh, like, like all this stuff takes like about 10 minutes to look at. You write it down, you copy and you do it. You get there, you do all that stuff. 10 minutes of work, a lifetime of saving the pain of constantly not being able to be successful in your fitness. It takes 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my goals as a coach is always trying to show people like no matter what we have, there's a way to incorporate fitness in your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times people ask me, it's like, oh, what do I need? Well, one, that's going to depend on what your goal is first, and then I'll kind of recommend like, okay, maybe you do need a barbell, maybe you do need these type of weights. If you have something that's a little more general, or even based off of what your fitness level is, I might tell you, oh, right now you might be fine with a kettlebell and a band,
Yeah.
for everything that you need. There was one girl I was training, well, I still train online. We were training at her house for all her online program workouts for a year and a half before we hit the gym.
Yeah.
Like literally built up her foundation at home, and now she goes to the gym, and now she kind of does a hybrid. Like she does some stuff at home, and now she's entering more of the gym world. So it both goes back and forth. But it really, I always just try to tell people that it's your resources, and I'm gonna make fitness make sense of whatever resources we have because I don't want you to feel like you always need more than what you don't have at the moment. You
Yeah.
know, and like COVID is a perfect example. Like when the gym shut down, people that wanted to stay in shape and people that view fitness and health as their lifestyle, we found ways to get active. You created like a PDF program. I remember following that. It was like
Yeah.
a 3 day split, and then it was like a lot of core training, and like you were showing people like I think you at the most you had us use a band,
Yeah.
and
The
then it's
most.
just like this is what we can do to stay in shape during this time. And it was a fucking phenomenal 3 day program.
Appreciate it.
40-minute workouts, 35 minutes, something like that, depending on however long someone took in their rest, but it was efficient. It showed how much opportunity that you had, and it was still challenging.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's not that hard. I don't think it's that hard. I don't see where the struggle is, and I do get the struggle. I just don't see it.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
just a prioritizing. It's
it's
prioritizing and structuring.
just prioritizing and structuring. And once people realize that fitness needs to fit your lifestyle, it's just not your lifestyle needs to fit fitness. If that kind of
Yeah.
makes sense, like
Yeah.
you need to find a way that fits in your lifestyle. It's the same thing of like people always want to start on Monday. And I was talking to a client recently. It was like, hey, like I can't get to the gym on Monday, but then I don't know when the next time I'm gonna get to the gym is because this is supposed to be my day one. What does your Sunday look like? I don't do
Yeah.
shit. Sunday's day one now. Like
Yep.
it's like
Yep.
you move the days over, and now your first days is a success because you have the capability to do it. Not it doesn't always have to fucking be exactly right.
For sure.
It needs to fit your lifestyle. And then from there, you can kind of edit and tweak. I mean, not everybody's always going to look the same. That's why the number one answer for every strength and conditioning coach is like, it depends. Because I don't
Yeah.
know what it looks like. You know what I mean? I don't know what's the right answer. The only way to do it is to experiment and try. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
same thing when you travel. It's like if you're traveling and you're listening to this, like close to where you're listening to this, try one thing. Like let's go to the grocery store when we land and let's get all the food that we need. I mean, if you're in an Airbnb, you can cook. You know what I mean? It's not that hard. Like olive oil, eggs, spinach, and some form of a carb, you can get a banana. And then that's right, like literally right there. And if you're in a hotel room, like a lot of them already have like fucking things you can go in the breakfast, like just get eggs, just get a fruit, and then move your ass out the way. It's there for you. You just gotta go ahead and capitalize it your way.
Yeah, and if you're traveling for business, chances are you're in a pretty nice hotel that has all the amenities you need. Let's just be honest
Exactly.
here. Like the
Exactly.
gym is gonna have what you need there. Like there's resources available to you.
And
So
always
it's
and bring if you bring just one pair of shoes, one pair of shorts, and one pair and a shirt. I mean, it's already there. You don't have to go like pack these things with you. Don't
yeah.
make the excuse that I didn't bring my clothes. I can't do anything. Like I would train butt ass naked in the hotel room.
Yeah.
If it comes down to it, balls just hanging and just
Yeah.
like it's fine. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, but there's always a way.
And push come to shove, man, calisthenics always works.
Exactly.
And like I said, if you really, really are just like stuck on time and you just know that this week is really, really hectic for you, try to spend 10 to 15 minutes doing something calisthenics based
Yeah.
or take a walk or something like that. Just prioritize that little time block for yourself. And then when you come back to your normal quote unquote normal life situation, then you have all the normal resources that you do. But there's nothing wrong with adapting a plan for a week just because you don't have your typical resources in front of you. Make use of it and just make fitness look different for you that week and then continue it as you go. But don't abandon fitness every time you leave your normal situation because like that's not how fitness should work.
No, it should be part of your life because you want to live a long, healthy, strong life. That's exactly why you listen to us. If you're not,
True?
if you if you don't want to live a long, healthy lifestyle, you listen to all these podcasts and don't get anything out of it. Like I think your actions need to start changing, bro. You need to stop listening to us and start actually acting. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
man, you got everything you need. Reach out to coaches. Like that's what coaches are here to help for. Coaches are our number one thing as a coach we should be able to do is adapt.
Yes.
And no matter, especially when you're dealing with general population, because general population, like their life always comes first. It's not like working with a collegiate athlete or a professional athlete to where their life kind of revolves around their athletic performance, where in real life situations it's fitness revolves around your lifestyle. So we always have to make sure that we adapt fitness to make sure it fits in with how your life is structured.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Building Savages podcast. Hit that like, subscribe, set all your notifications for future episodes, and we will catch you guys soon.
Sir, appreciate y'all.